after after an interesting night, not surprisingly, I wake up to some interesting circumstances, which will remain undisclosed. Um, but I asked Kryon, how did they do this? Because it's like the only entity that I have to really like talk to that really packs a punch is Kryon, who will actually straight up talk to me, because Arcturians will keep very secretive, but Kryon will just stay there and stand there. I asked him, how was this done, whatever this was, and he said it was astrally, and you noticed how the door was shut when you woke up? Yeah, someone shut the door to try and get the carbon monoxide on you. I mean, that was with the window open like that. They can hardly get to you. So don't worry, you're very protected. And I come out, let's just say a FedEx guy was around, and stuff about, things like that. And so I'm told, okay, you know what's going on. Now we're going to do like we did before. You remember the walking before, except this time you're not going to be as scared. In fact, this time this time I am Kryon of magnetic service, and you cannot touch my associate, is what you're going to say. And so I end up doing that while throwing out something that needed to be thrown out that should not have been in my space. Um, and so now he he said I'd like to do what we did, because of what's going on here, and because it's so important that you tell the story, because it's important that the story be told. I want to do with you like what we did with Paul. And he actually said like what we did with Paul, and he was meaning the Apostle Paul, who, was imprisoned a billion times and had everybody coming after him and stuff, but he was like the guy who wrote all the letters out to the churches, telling them, okay guys, you're doing really well here. I hear this is going on in Corinthia with the women. Tell them to shut up. Which everyone called him sexist for, but he was just saying, like, you're talking in church, like, would you please be quiet and ask your questions at home to your husband? That's all he meant. He wasn't being like chauvinistic or anything, especially because he was not a Jew. That I'm allowed to say that, because I used to say all anti-Semites should be shot, because that was my Nietzsche thing. All anti-Semites should be shot, and that was why I got so pissed off at Wagner and stomped out. That was why that happened. And now it's like backwards, where a lot of those people that I defended in the past are like doing weird things. So now I'm gonna say they're doing things that only can stand in light, because that's how it has to be. I already said this, what Kryon said is that what's happening is that, they're throwing everything out at the last minute. It's like the Alamo or something, but you're not the Alamo that's going to fall or anything. It's there, hold up, and they're trying to make it look like it's the opposite, but that's because they're the ones that are in a corner. They're the ones that are going to lose, and they're going to have to change or die and go to another space. It's like he said, you remember how I said 90%, it's 95%, but then he gave this funny analogy to me. You know how, you remember on Breaking Bad, this show you watched, and chemistry with making things 100% chemistry, he said, with making something 100% pure, between 96% and 99% in ideal conditions. It's possible, but it's a large gulf. And he said that's why it seems like it's so slow right now, but it's already there. It's already there. It's just it's slow. That's why it seems like it's slow, because think of it in that way, in that analogy. He said, think of it that way, like that it's slow, feeling slow for some people, because it can be a huge gulf between going between 95% to your 100%, or, yeah, 99 point, whatever you want to pretend it is, percent. Oh, and that's really funny, because, yeah, Kryon still keeps saying, I want Chris to read the book, I want Chris to read the book, I want Chris to read the book. And it's this, okay, if you need help, here, we're going to show it to you. You already know what book it is. It's this book. He wants you to read this book, because he says that he needs a chemist to figure stuff out in there, and that a chemist can, and plus he loves Christians. He loves enslaved Christians, and is like a bulldozer to try and protect them. So that's pretty cool. So what happened was, he said, I'd like to do kind of what we did with Paul for you, which is to come into you, or he said what no one could understand this back then, but like what you read in ET 101, time sharing your body. And he said, what better, way to protect one of our best ground agents than to actually time share her body. What they tried to do to you, that would affect a normal human, wouldn't it? But would it affect a blue Lyran? And I said, oh, no, it wouldn't. So I said, oh, alright. So he said, you think of it like Pentecost. Think of Pentecost, and think of where the apostles were there, and breathe in the Holy Spirit. But not, and he's like, remember, not that other Holy Spirit, breathing in the Spirit associated with Christ, with 33, with the Spirit of Christ consciousness, of light, love, dynamic, light, love, dynamic. It's not light, dark, or love, hate. It's light, love. And he said that's what everybody's missing, and that's why that's why I'm still alive, because it's what I was doing when I was in prison. Hello. So you guys have not figured out that that's what it is? That's what it is. Also, though, he has the same opinion as me, which is do whatever works. So, whatever works at first. Breathing in light and breathing out darkness, that works. But then he said to me, like, what I told you about the code and such. Think about it as like the golden rule. Would you like it, now that you're becoming multidimensional, would you want someone to breathe in the light and then breathe out black stuff at you? And I said, no, I wouldn't want that. And he said, no, instead what you'd want them to do is breathe in the light, use it to transmute that black stuff in their body into love, and breathe that out. And he explained to me that's what that number sequence was, to help with like a transmutational code or something, in that particular visualization. He said that's what that is. So, oh, this is funny. I don't care. Like, it's like Fight Club. funny example. Like, Fight Club, and we talk about Fight Club. Except it's Peace Club, and we talk about the Peace Club. Except people are having trouble with the peace. So with the peace thing, I practiced the 8-point blocking system with this. I can show you. No, that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need 2 hands for that, but I can do the 8-point blocking system with this. Yay! Like with a plastic blue lightsaber, right? That's gonna help me. My plastic. I mean, come on. Every Jedi needs a plastic. Every Jedi needs a plastic blue lightsaber, and a bathrobe underneath a chemically engineered sky, for fake rain. So we're gonna tell the sky, become normal again, and with Like it's like with Kryon, what he said with time sharing your body. He said, think, remember how in the one channeling you listened to, you heard Lee say it's so easy to do for him because he's, quote, under the surface. He said, that's what I want to do with you. I want to, like, put myself kind of on either like a overlay kind of, or under the surface, like breathe me in, and I'll come into you. And that since I've been hanging out here the whole time, it won't be very strange for you. So I said, oh, okay. But he said I still would have to practice a lot and look at lots of stuff on the internet without the telescreens. One thing I actually threw this because I was trying to look up. I've thrown the phones multiple times because, like, someone must kill the babysitter. Like, remember Cable Guy? Someone must kill the. That was back in the 90s, right? And he was, and we were led to believe he was nuts. And someone must kill the babysitter acting in there. But Jim Carrey, knew what he was doing when he was doing that. So and that's why his acting was so good, because he really was saying someone must kill the babysitter. Which already did kill the one babysitter. So this is our new babysitter. So, so after throwing the thing, I threw it because I was trying to remember any light language, and I knew in places where people, could speak light language, but I knew it was all teenagers that had stuff happen to them, let's just say that. Or a lot of them were teenagers that had stuff happen to them. So I was like, okay, what do I do? And he just said, look, just do what you've been doing. And then stuff that would pop up that was, deliberately screwed up. He would say, hold your, like, just the lightsaber thing, it's just a prop, but hold it there, and say, no, I fight against this, no, back, no, go back, go back, go back, go back, I'm staring at whatever code or whatever, no, go back, get behind me, Satan, get away from me, Satan, get out, get out, get out. Lyrans, they do. I know that. I mean, you guys know this, but they, like in the Wizard of Oz, you've got the lion that does like that. Like I just started, like I was doing this. I started to hear that for a second. I'm like, I don't know Lyran. I just know it sounds a little like like the Spangle stuff. Like Spangle, and I was like, oh, that's Lyran. When I first started figuring out light language, I listened to this Spangle, and I was like, it's Lyran. Cool. So now, what Kryon once said was that he was, quote, under the surface, but in the one book, he said you might see like a white aura around my partner, and I'm like, white aura means dead. That was part of like the hint to figure it out, like that something was dead. And he said, well, just Krista, you know what I look like. You keep seeing what I look like, which is the picture that Kelly in the Raw describes of, like, the Lyran that's the indigo color saying, come this way. That's what you keep on seeing me look like. So, just see that, breathe into your body, and overlay your own aura, even if you can't see it. You've seen it twice, or I've only saw it really strongly once, when they were trying to possess me, like, saying, see, hear, all this cool stuff, that you could do, or whatever, that you can't do yet. Can't do yet is the, operative word there. Can't do it yet. So, no, I'm not taking the fast lane there. I'm not cheating. I'm doing it the real way. Okay, Kryon says, do not say that. But lyric from a song about being the real deal and someone else is a clone. But he says, don't say that. Do not say that. Do not say that. Okay, I will not say that. So for people that are wanting to figure out how to accomplish these kinds of things, what you need to do is ask for divine meaning of light and the love. Think of the love that you're familiar with, but then link light to it, as if you're taking an electrical cord and link it to the light that's so far away that you cannot reach, as if you're throwing out a fishing line to it, and link yourself just slightly to it. Then you must not be afraid to feel the true divinity, because the divinity that you feel is not that of the true source divinity. You feel a reflected version of it. Then what you must do is ask for your divine angelic guides to come and assist you. Normally there will be two. They have the abilities to supersede many of these problems that you've been experiencing, even though they are you, but simply it's helpful for you to think of them as separate, so we'll do it that way. Now, ask them to begin as in book 1, but not exactly like in book 1. As in book 1, ask them to help reconfigure your neural structure. Ask them to help reconfigure your heart chakras. Notice how I said chakras, heart chakras. My associate has no idea what this means. She's thinking there's more than one. To which I know that those of you who are watching are laughing, because yes, there is more than one, obviously. So ask them to help activate your heart chakras. The heart chakra is unlike what my associate read on a satanic website. It is more powerful than the solar plexus. It is the gateway along with the breath. The heart and the breath are your gateway out. That's your doorway out. As your angelic guides come to meet you, you will experience resistance from the dark trying to hold you down. This could persist for quite some time. The way to make your way out is to continue to communicate with your angelic guides and receive continued assistance from them. Do not be afraid or feel guilty for asking for assistance from your angelic guides. Do not fall for any lie that you are unworthy to ask. Do not fall for the lie that you are unworthy to ask. Do not fall for the lie that you are unworthy to ask the true light love source for help. You are worthy. Look at this one. She cries now, but she was worthy. The world called her unworthy, but I've chosen her as my own. It is not just her. She was simply willing to listen. Asking the cosmos, help me. I want help. It is simply all you have to do. It's what I did. Help me. I want help. That's all you have to do. So, remember, the love source that you're used to, link it with the light source that you're told that you're forbidden from. Think of the light source in association with the love source and ask for the normally two angelic guides that will come to you. It might be other angelic guides or other guides, but specifically ask for the angelic guides. Regardless of what angelic means to you, simply say angelic. This is the most helpful for the dark, we've noticed, to come back into the light, particularly for all humans. Simply ask for that which is angelic, and from that which is the true divine, not a fake reflected version of it, the true divine, not another, not the, no, I cannot come up with the word for it for her, not, it's as if you could pick to have, you could pick to spend the night in a 5-star hotel, or you could pick to spend the night in a slum. And because someone offered you $100 at the slum, you went to the slum instead of staying at the 5-star hotel for free. So, rather than going to the slum and sleeping there because someone gives you $100, why don't you go to the 5-star hotel and be treated like royalty for free? The choice is up to you, dear ones. It is up to you. But she's here. She will be here for you. I will be here for you. I am everywhere. Remember that. I am all of you. Remember that. She forgets that. So, remember that. I love my partner very much. And I love all of you very much. You must be the one to initiate. You cannot sit there and ask, God, help me if it be your will. You cannot do that. You cannot say, if it be your will, because that is giving the power away. The power is supposed to be within, which obviously you have noticed. The power is supposed to be within, and has been sapped out of you. So, to bring it back, you have to initiate as if you are not in a position of helplessness and torment. You must initiate with the will. This is why she was so able to do this. She's a very, very strong will. If you initiate the contact with your angelic self. That is what you are doing. Ultimately, your own spirit, which is your angelic guides, which is what I have said before, ultimately this supersedes anything and everything that can be done to you. And this girl is still walking proof. And I'm going to make her continued walking proof. And she's going to have to come up with an answer for the question that I gave her. What are you going to say when people ask you, how did you do it? Well, actually, we might have some documentation of how she did it. Also, if you're confused by any of these meditations, simply keep your eyes on Jesus. You cannot really go wrong that way. You really cannot go wrong. Remember, the Apostle Paul was a Gentile. And he was made as the apostle to the Gentiles, the one to teach the Gentiles. Of what nationality does this associate of mine associate herself with, even though she is American? Her ethnicity, she associates herself with an enemy ethnicity of those of Jerusalem. But she is, like Paul, an emissary to the Gentiles. The belief that only God's chosen people, which, remember, a different God was the one choosing, The belief that only God's chosen people can ascend is false. That is why Paul existed. That is why she exists now. She feels your attack. She feels you try to harm her. But it will not work. It is futile. I see her in the future with some things I cannot describe for her protection. But I see her in the distant future, talking with some of the most powerful people in many worlds. She has no idea how this could be possible. But I say to her, you know, you are only 27 years old. Many things can happen in the span of a lifetime. Look at what happened from the several months from March. Look at what's happened from then until now. So, what do you think could really be possible in the span of your lifetime? And what is possible is what you make possible in the span of your lifetime. Dear ones, I'm Kryon of magnetic service. We will have to practice with her. She's a good channel, a good vessel for my messages, because she has no idea, she has no understanding of these things. She has no understanding of magnetics, no understanding of any more of calculus. She could possibly remember these things. That is why I've chosen her, because she is capable. She has the capacity to understand it, but has never looked at it really before, in a concrete fashion at all. As I've said it before, a good place for my thought packages to land. Dear ones, for a final third time, I'll simply repeat. You have to ask yourself. You have to ask for yourself. You cannot wait for God to save you. You cannot wait for a Savior to come to get you. You cannot do that. This one was stuck doing that. She was waiting for someone to come and help her. Then it was her psychologist who told her, well, you can't change what other people are doing, but you can change yourself. She finally realized that I don't believe that, but I'm going to try it. So she tried it. And look where she's sitting. Here. Look what she knows. Look what she is doing. She is channeling. She has no idea how she's really doing this. She knows she steps aside. She knows she hears me say that all the time. She knows she complains about it. And she knows she stopped thinking so much so that I can channel more effectively. You must act like an equal, and this is made deliberately very hard for you. You must come to a place where, instead of praying, oh dear God, please help little old me, I don't really believe you will, please help little old me. No, you have to get up and walk and say, dear Lord of the cosmos, the light, love, source, please send to me my angelic guides. Please send to me my angelic guides. Send to me my angelic guides. Say it not as if you are a lowly creature asking, but as if it is already done. And your angelic guides will come to you. She has many, though she cannot see them. She did not actually know that until this moment. But she has many, though she cannot see them. At this point, dear ones, we will go. About a half an hour seems to be long enough on the camera. So, once again, I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. You are dearly loved. Okay. That sounded like Kryon to most of you, which I know it does, because I know it is. Then yeah, that would be Kryon. So do what he said. What I'm gonna have to remember what he said. That's where you forget what you're saying. And get your angelic guides. That was basically what he was trying to say. Like 3 different times or something. So blessings to you all, and tonight what you're going to do is you're going to work on finding your angelic guides. You're going to work on trying to get them to come to you and get them to rewire things, because they're very anxious to do that, but they need your go-ahead first. As I used to say, press the button. Yeah, you have to press the button, but you have to press the correct button. Stop pressing the other button. Press the other button, okay? Alright, blessings to you all from Arcturian Philosophy on the Balcony.